On December 7th, 2020, Mumbo Jumbo uploaded a video called Wireless Messaging in 1.17, where he used simulated skulk sensors, because they weren't out yet, to transmit messages between one machine and another machine. And you know what? I remember watching that video and thinking it's pretty dang cool, because, I mean, it is pretty dang cool. But I believe that his design had a couple pretty big shortcomings, one of which is right behind me. You see, Mumbo pre-configured his machine to have 15 preset messages. Not so bad, that's not bad in and of itself. But each and every message was represented by only one of these lamps. So that's a message, and so on. So I'm sure you can imagine, if you wanted to expand this much further than 15, you're going to need a lot of space. But you see, that's not the most significant flaw in his design, in my opinion. The biggest problem, in my view, was transfer speed. Now, if you were sending just the first message, that's no problem. It's basically instant. But if you're sending message number 15, it doesn't just light up. It marches its way from this end all the way down to this end, meaning that every single message takes a different amount of time to transmit. So if you wanted to get number 15, you would have this happening. And then it marches all the way down. Keeps marching down. Yeah, still going. You get the picture. So that got me thinking, what if we could do it in a way such that all 15 messages take the same amount of time to transfer, and in fact, a much, much lower average? Is such a thing possible? Turns out, yes, it is possible. Enter binary. So now with these 4 lamps, you can represent every single message in this string of 15 using some combination of on and off of these 4 lamps. So that is 0, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, and so on. If you want an explanation of binary, I'll put some links in the description for you. But as you can see, this is a much more compact way of representing all of these messages. And it comes with the added bonus of having every single message only take 4 cycles to complete, because there's only 4 bits. So this is the idea. We would have a sender here that encodes some kind of binary number, and then hits the send button. It then gets sent 1 bit at a time along this line, which will be made of skulk sensors, and it will be read and then shifted over by this one bit at a time. So, as you can see, it sends a 0, it receives a 0. Sends a 1, shifts the 0 over, puts the 1 there. Gets another 1, shifts both of those over, and puts the 1 there. And then receives another 0, which then shifts both of these over, and then puts the 0 there, freezes it like that, and now they're both the same. This is what's known as serial communication. No, not the cereal, and no, not the killer either. Serial as in S-E-R-I-A-L. Actually, that's the same as the killer cereal, now that I think about it. Anyways, in serial communication, data is sent 1 bit at a time over a single wire, or in our case, it will be a line of skulk sensors. And some of you may think that's a bit overcomplicated, but the thing is, this is used all the time in everyday electronics. The mouse that you're using on this computer that you're probably watching this video on, the keyboard that's connected to your computer, the remote that controls your TV. There's all kinds of examples of serial communication. In fact, the S in USB stands for serial. Universal Serial Bus. Pretty cool. So my goal today is to make this happen using skulk sensors. Spooky. Alright, so let's work on the transmitter first, the part that actually sends the bits one by one. So I think I want it to look something like this, where we would have, let's enclose it. So we would choose which message to send by using these levers here. Just change them, whatever, like 1010, sure, message number 10. And then what we would do is we would send it by pushing this button, and then it would go to the other station which will receive it. So basically when we hit this button, this should be sent sequentially. So actually, I don't like this top line of blocks. All right, so in order to receive, or in order to read these levers, let's go ahead and put down, yeah, repeaters. And I think the best way, or at least the simplest way to do this, is to, I think, put down pistons like so, and just have them one by one drop blocks in front of these repeaters. So this one drops, then this one drops, then this one drops, then this one drops. But we have to remember, we're going to be sending 5 bits, not just 4. So we actually need another one of these, like this, and like that. And the reason being is, if we had a message like this, then the first bit that the receiver would receive is this one, right? But how will it know that there's leading zeros? So it needs to send a leading bit and then send the rest of it, so that the receiver will know that it's receiving a message, and then it can start doing its clock cycles. I hope that made sense. So yeah, sending bit and then the 4 data bits, and they'll be sent to this line right here. And then I think the best way to get them to activate sequentially is through a hopper chain. So let's go ahead, let's see, we're going this way, right? In a circle like that. So if we were to throw in an item, we should see, nice, okay, yeah. Yes, they activate one at a time. Perfect. Of course, that's way too fast because the skulk sensor has a pretty hefty cooldown. Like if I were to spam this lever, it takes a while before it can, you know, detect another sound. So if we go back to the hoppers, I've determined that, here we go, 8 hoppers is just about right for the delay. I think it's might be closer to 7, but 8 is actually possible to do in a loop. So we're gonna go with 8. Plus it gives us a little bit of nice comfortable buffer. So back to here, we're definitely going to need to lock these hoppers. So essentially, yeah, that should do it. And then if we put, oh, I guess it needs to go in here. Yeah, then it should be stopped in here. Good, good, good. And then we flick that. Nice. So essentially, if we pulse, yes. So if we pulse this torch at the right speed, then we can get it to send sequentially. That's perfect. So let's get the pulse portion of that situated. We're gonna need 2 ticks because that's what's actually needed for the redstone torch to actually turn off. I think if we did this and that, then we can trigger it like that. Nice. Good. So for the hoppers, let's go for this 8 hopper ring that I showed you before. There we go. Go ahead and take an output out of that one. And then we need to stop it here when the item comes back. And actually, since it'll be stopped here, let's actually move this here. Yeah, that's pretty good. So now I think we can put an item into here. And if we were to, let's change that color out. If we were to do this and put a button there, if we push this button, deactivating this, okay, okay, nice, nice. Okay, and one more time, and then it should stop. Perfect. So now we just need to connect that right on over to the button. Yep. Bit number 1, always active. Bit number 2. Bit number 3. Bit number 4. And bit number 5. Let's go. Very nice. And let's do a bit of old school redstone here. We're going to switch out the wool again. Just because this is the sending part of it. There we go. Old school monostable. So let's have 2 ons consecutively. We should see, okay, a pulse, and then no pulse, and then another pulse, and then hopefully another pulse. Awesome. It happens just in time. Thank goodness for this old school monostable. So cool. So yeah, actually that was simpler than I thought it would be. Yeah, this is it for the sender. Let's move on to the receiver, I guess. But first, of course, we do need to send it. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Okay, so these can do 8 blocks away. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so that's going to sit there. And we're going to have that. And then that's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to sit there. And yeah, let's do that a few more times. Yeah, I think that's about long enough. Wait, let's see if it actually works. Holy crap. Wait a second. Oh, it is just too far away, isn't it, this thing? Okay, let's fix that. Alright. Again. Okay, we should see 1. And then a big break. And then 2 consecutive ones. There it is. Awesome. Double pulse. Wait, hold on. What if I did that? Okay, 1 pulse, hopefully. Hey, you know what, buddy? You're gonna be automated out of a job. You do realize that, right? We are now sending messages over the airwaves. You're out of date, old man. You're out of date. You take your llamas, you go elsewhere. Let the engineers handle this. You didn't see anything. Alright, now for the receiver, which is probably going to be quite a bit harder. So what do we need for this? I think first and foremost, we need an RS NOR latch. That's for certain. So basically, we would want the pulse to come in through here, and the pulses will continue to come, and then we'll have a counter that counts to 5 bits. Okay, so the bits come in like this. That's the sending bit, or the receiving bit. And then no matter how many times this gets activated, it doesn't change the state. But then after 5 exact cycles, then this gets reset for the next thing. I think that'll work. So I'm thinking basically we should have, oh, pay no mind to that. Yeah, so that gets stopped here. The sending bit comes in and it starts flashing this lamp. And then we want it so that after exactly 5 times, then this activates and stops it right there. How about a dropper? I think a dropper would work. So if I put like a dropper here with exactly 5 items in it, yeah, that'll work, I guess. And we loop it around, have this. Let me think about this for a sec. Okay, so this is wild. This looks like an absolute mess of torches, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But basically, we have this comparator reading off of this, and it waits till it's empty, and when it's empty, it turns this off, which then turns this back on, which then turns this redstone on and also unlocks this hopper. So when I push this button, you can see the RS NOR latch does this, and then when this turns off, no, this turns on, it resets the RS NOR latch and then unlocks this hopper. Now, why is the unlocking of the hopper important? That's because when these are spitting items out into this hopper, they can't immediately then just go back in, or else it'll just go infinitely, right? It needs to be stopped somewhere. So we're using this hopper to stop it until this is empty. So that's one thing that needs to happen until it's empty. The other thing that needs to happen until it's empty is this RS-NOR latch needs to keep being in this state until it's empty. And so that just so happens to happen. Yeah, sure, we'll go with it. That just so happens to happen at the same time. So if I hit this button here, you'll see the redstone lamp flashes once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and then stops. Look at that. And that right there is actually the hard part. By the way, I changed everything to blue, just because I like it that way. Okay, now for the thing that sends the pulses. So let's have that, let's change to pink again. This right here is going to be the shift registers. So we have that. Once again, 2 ticks here, going into a torch. That is going to be the locking mechanism. And I think what we need is just a bit of that. So we have repeaters, and then mirror that on the other side. So we should see that when we push this button, those flash 5 times. Okay, yeah, that's good. And then in front of those, we're gonna put in these repeaters, which are locked. And in front of that, we have those, like that, and like that. All right, let's do a real quick demonstration. So a 1's coming in, it gets shifted in, awesome. A 0's coming in, the 1 gets shifted this way, awesome. Another 1 is coming in, it gets shifted, awesome. Nice. Yeah, this is really good. Okay, so now we need to connect this to here and also to here. So let's stair step that down. Yeah, that's good. There we go, like so. Yeah, that needs to be 2 ticks. Okay, let's see if the first bit gets shifted in. Oh, that happens way too fast. I need to put a lot of delay on this line. I think we found it. I think we found it, folks. So basically what needs to happen is this line needs to be lit at the exact same time that these pulse. So that's what these repeaters are doing. I just added 1 tick at a time until it worked, and it so happened to actually work. Check that out. And it marches along. Now when it's actually coming in at the correct speed, we should, in theory, see both of these synchronized, because they're both based on an 8 hopper clock. So fingers crossed that actually works. Yeah, it always does, right? This is redstone, it always works first try. But before we get to the despair, let's go ahead and make this a little bit prettier. So let's see what we can do here. And another thing I want to add, I think, is you've got mail, because I want to be able to send a 0000 message as well for a total of 16 instead of 15. So I want to have a you've got mail, light here that you can reset with a button. So that's going to be here, and I think I want the button to be underneath it. And one very quick and dirty RS-NOR latch later, I think we've got it. So hit that button to reset. Yep. Good. Hit that button to set, and we are good to go. Awesome. Okay, is it time to send our first message? I mean, in theory, it should work. In theory. So actually, let's make that look about the same. Let's enclose it. There we go. Now it looks nice and handsome. So we've got, you know, both of these separated by some distance, only connected through the air with skulk sensors. And I've already got a message here, so let's send it. Fingers crossed. Okay, there it goes, traveling through the air. Triggers that. Okay, it's good. It's got the sent bit. It gets the 0. It got the 1. It got the other 1. Please, one more. Stop. Oh my goodness. Let's go. A message sent serially through the air with skulk sensors. Okay, hold on. We gotta do it one more time so it's not a fluke. We gotta change this. We gotta change this. Hold on. 0101, sure. Go. I'm so excited. Okay, yeah. Send bit. That's okay. 0, 1. Wait, okay. This thing works faster than I can process. Wow. Okay, let's see if the You Got Mail feature works for 0000. Let's send a fully empty message. Now this should only consist of the send bit. Yep, I've got mail. And the old data should be getting shifted all out. One more. Holy crap. How incredible is that? One more time. 0011. Send it. And there it goes. Those are individual bits, precisely timed, flying through the air. Oh, that is so satisfying. And the best part is how easily expandable this is. I mean, you know, for this one, right, you just need to add more shift registers and just change the number of items in here. I mean, changing the number of bits is so easy, and then adding one more doubles it, so it goes from 16 to 32. And then over here, you just need to add one more hopper and one more of these. Holy, this is such an easily expandable system. And it's surprisingly compact as well. I'm sure I could do a little bit more to compact this, but this ain't bad. You know, I wonder if it would be worth trying to send actual words like this with a display and a word processor. It'd be cool. I mean, this is basically Morse code, right? This is a telegraph. This is a wireless telegraph. So instead of predetermined messages, you can do whole words and sentences if you want to. Maybe that's a future video. Maybe it's not. That's a lot of work. But yeah, this is sick. All right, folks, that's basically it. It went surprisingly well, actually. I'm very happy with what is done here. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comments below, and I will make sure to answer them if I can. If you have any suggestions for any other interesting experiments to do with redstone, I'm all ears. Subscribe for more content like this. I will surely be doing more interesting little experiments in Minecraft and teaching you redstone along the way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.